Hello everybody, this is Jane Hamilton Parker on February the 22nd, the year 2024, nearly said 23 then. Today I'm going to talk about positive energy, being positive. And I feel we all need a little bit of positive energy, what's happening around the world today. Right, let me just get this right, that's it. I think, karmically, the world is going through great changes at the moment. And it seems to me that we're finding it very difficult. Most people are finding it very difficult with high food prices, high council taxes, finding it very difficult with the cost of living. And I think we've got to take a positive attitude that at times it's very, very hard, but we can get through this. It does stress me when I watch the news and I see all these terrible things happening, like stabbings, negative energy, and people are really, we've got like dark forces around the world at the moment. It seems that the planet is going through terrible times, and it seems like we've got to be very, very careful. But we can overcome that by being positive. And I believe in karma, and I believe that good things come to those people that want to do good things and be very positive. Karma is all down what we've done in previous incarnations and in this incarnation. If you're a good person, you've got compassion, you've got love in your heart, and you feel that you can make a change to the world, then please do. I mean, how many of us turn on the television and we see all these terrible things that's happening in the Middle East, or what's happening in Russia, Ukraine, and Jerusalem, and we think of all those children, what they're going through at the moment. I really do get upset when I see that children are bombed in all these different places, innocent, and they've only got their lives ahead of them, and all the trauma. Why is this happening? What have these people done in a previous incarnation? It feels like there's a lot of wickedness around the world at the moment, and it's all about power. It's all about trying to take over the world and trying to change it. It's all about, men with high egos and power. What were they in a previous incarnation? But there's always hope, there's always good things to happen. So if we can all send out to the ether positiveness, positive energy, love, and visualize that this is a wonderful world, a wonderful planet we're living in, but it's just a few are destroying it. So karma is about doing good things. What you've done in a previous life counts very much so. For instance, say if you're an adulterer, a thief, or a murderer, and you thought you got away with it, well, you pay for it in this life, because every action is accountable. Everybody is born with their own free will. Everybody knows what's right and wrong, and you can choose the right path or the wrong path. And if you choose to be doing these things, there will be a judgment day. You will be accountable for your action. Even murderers get caught. It may take 20 years or 30 years, but eventually all the truth comes out in the end. Never has there been a time that the world has got greedy, very greedy. Everybody's after your money. You go into a pub, for instance, just have an ordinary meal, and they put service charge on it. The thing is, we don't mind paying service charge. I call service charge if you've got a nice white linen tablecloth, nice silver, and you really do get service. My mother made a very good point. She said, I don't believe that we should tip unless we feel that we've been reward somebody good service. After all, they took the jobs on and they knew that they had to serve and put a plate on the table. I wouldn't go into a shoe shop and the girl's got to go at the top of the ladder to get a pair of shoes for me to try on, and I tip her. They know what jobs they took on. It's all about greed, isn't it? It's all about what's in it for me and selfishness. I mean, even now, if you go shopping in a supermarket, you see somebody sneezing up an aisle, they don't put their hand over their face, or sneezing on food, and that could carry germs and could give somebody an infection or the flu. You know, people forget so easily, don't they? We've all gone through COVID, and that 2 years did change people's lives, but people don't learn, do they? They go back to their old ways. Karma, for me, is doing good things, compassionate, being considerate, and helping others. And it also means being strong and knowing which is right, which is wrong. Now, even animals, they can pick up things, can't they? Even animals, they can see who's a good person. They can see around a person's etheric body and auras, and can see who's nice and everything. But you see, at the moment, we've got dark forces. So these dark forces is a very sort of a dark force trying to take over everything. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. Because people, if you start thinking, oh, it's going to be the end of the world, going to be the end of the world, it will not be the end of the world. Because eventually we'll go back, as I said before, to the Ice Age. And I can see that happening in the future. But at the moment, everybody's getting into this artificial intelligence and robots. Yes, there's good and there's bad. It's good that robots can help do heavy duty work, and they're meant to work amongst us, but then even then you only need some idiot to get into power and to turn it to their advantage, like the drones and everything. You know, the planet is not really meant to be a place to be destroyed. It's meant to be a living energy, consciousness. I mean, Mother Nature fights back. You look around where we live in the countryside, every field they're building on, and the poor animals do not know where to go. And it's so sad, really sad. It's like all about money. And they think they can plant lots of twigs all around the outside in the country, and that is the environment. They think, you know, we have planted things and make it green again, but they will not. Once it's gone, it never comes back. And they're putting all these different buildings in force, and you know, they're like rabbit hutches, and young people cannot afford to save up 40,000, put on a deposit, and it comes one great big ugly city. Who wants to live like that? And it's like these electric cars, you can't hear the things when they're going along, and I don't think they've been as popular as people think they were. And you know, karma really is if we all can work together and do good things and good actions. Craig and I try our very best to do good things, but it seems like we do more action, and we really put our foundation into good use. It's like our patrons. They're good people and they care about people. And if it wasn't for them, then we couldn't be doing our live feeds, our live show, Craig and Jane's show, every Friday from Winchester, and it's thanks to them. So they're gathering good karma. And it's like, you know, karma is really about action. It's really about doing good things. If you do bad things, then it will come back on you. It's like if you look at a photo of somebody and you have such hatred in your soul and evil, and you're a liar, and you're reflecting your actions on somebody else and being narcissistic to somebody else, that's going to come back on you as like a dark force. But if you picked up a photo of somebody and you were thinking of them lovely person, and you think, oh, they're not very well, I hope they get better, and you really meant it sincerely from the heart and sending out good vibes, good thoughts, and they're in your heart, then that's a good action, good karma. It's like an animal. When it comes to an animal's end, animals do know. And it's like, you know, you're ripping your heart and soul out because an animal's got to be put down. But it's the kindest thing to do if an animal's suffering and you know, but we have to draw the line sometimes with humans, I'm afraid, because there's a lot of evil people would definitely put older people down to grab their money and their property. But you know, I believe that every action is accountable what you do here on God's earth. I really do. And you know, if we ask and send our prayers up to the universe for good things, and we're confident in ourselves, and we're strong, and we have love in our hearts, we can change the world. For example, all this, you know, pensioners now they're trying to bring in that pensioners can't retire to the 71, which is really unfair when they've all paid in to the system. And then we've got the others that haven't paid a penny into the system and they want it to a lifestyle. I know if I was Prime Minister, I would definitely bring back what they called, it was going right back, the labour exchange. You were offered 2 jobs. If you didn't take the second job, you didn't get paid. And that system worked. And sometimes there were men that really worked hard and perhaps they were down the docks or worked down the docks and the work suddenly stopped. Yes, those people were entitled because they wanted to work, but it wasn't meant for a lifestyle so people can have great big television screens, iPhones, and have a lifestyle and be in pubs all day smoking and drinking. There's other things they could do. They could, for example, they could go and make beds in the hospitals to relieve the nurses, take the rubbish and river beds, tidy up, sweep the streets. They could do something. Even people that got cerebral palsy and like that, they want to work. They want to do things. Everybody's got hands and eyes and feet. Even if you were in a wheelchair, you could still stitch things. The thing is, we've got a society where it's a must-have society. And it's like more than keeping up with the Joneses, isn't it? I think if you do voluntary work, because a lot of them do voluntary work, and that's good. A lot of people, even the older people you see that are working in places like B&Q, and they've lived and they want to generally help people. But I think at the end of the day, we're going through very difficult times. Karmically, it will all work out in the end for us. And it's like the rich get richer, don't they? And, I'm a great believer, if you want anything in life, work for it, save up for it. Money's for sharing. It's not for hiding away or robbing people. I mean, you hear people now, all involved young people with drugs. And then you get these people that with baseball bats and hiding their faces and that, attacking people for their money and beating old ladies up. They think they get away with it, but they won't get away with it. And I think karma is a place that we should all think of seriously by doing good actions. I mean, if you've had somebody in a past life that really, really suffered and had mental cruelty, a lot of abuse, and they've come in this life and they've tried to reach out and help others and set up charities, and for that, they've had that experience karmically. I mean, even doctors that we've got now, they're all overworked and everything, but they still are dedicated, very dedicated. I think the governments have got to change in this country. I think we have got too much laid back, and I think we've got to be a lot stricter. And I feel, it seems like all these boys that have been to Eton, Harrow, and that they're sort of all the and the Henriettas, they don't know what it's like for the ordinary person that suffers. So we should really make it fair for anybody, karmically, very much so. And I feel that, I don't feel churches should be involved in politics at all. I think that's a big mistake, very big mistake. I think sometimes these politicians, karmically, we haven't voted them in. It's them that's really sort of got in through the back door, so to speak. But karma is a word that every action is accountable what you do here. And you have to be a good person. It doesn't mean you've got to be a walkover. And I feel when you get to a certain age, you have wisdom and you've lived long enough to see how the world is changed. And I say there's some really lovely people on the earth plane, what I call earth angels, and there's some really wicked people. So we've got to have a balance. There's always been darkness, but the light puts out the darkness in the end. So I'm going to stop now because I'm going to have a nice cup of tea, hopefully. That's my good karma. But I'll try to get on a live on Facebook. If you want to join me on Facebook, I'm going to try and work it out, because sometimes all this technology gets all sort of messed about, doesn't it, and interruptions. Anyway, have a nice day. I wish you the very best and a very good life. Be happy, love each other. God bless you all.